Alright, I'm going to do some replays of this black-green Tortured Existence. The PCT I played last night. Played round 1 against Aerie Ouphes, who was on Stompy. So I won the die roll. Unkeepable hand, no lands. This hand has 1 land of Tortured Existence, but that's not good enough. I need at least 2 lands to do anything. So I mulligan again. Go down to, this one's also another 1-lander, doesn't do anything. So I go down to 4. Maybe. Okay. Yeah, I go down to 4. And put a couple lands and I think like a Commune or a Stinkweed or something like that on the bottom. I don't know, MTG, it'll just lag now. But I keep this 4 of a Wild, Tortured Existence, and a Horror. So with this hand, I'm kind of hoping to cycle into another land and then maybe get a Stinkweed and start dredging and hopefully recover some lands that way. But mulligan to 4 is pretty rough no matter what. I'm going to stick with it just in case. So obviously turn 1 jam out Tortured Existence. If it's Elves or Stompy, I'm not sure which just yet. It doesn't matter too much. My play is basically the same. So I cycle the Horror to make sure that I don't get a Rot Farm off the top, which I do. Which is nice. So my lands are good now. Don't need any more lands. No more lands to draw. Looks like he's on a pretty decent start. Burning Tree and that's not good on turn 2 is rough. Get a Lampad, but rather than playing it into a Savage Swipe, I just grab the Horror using Tortured Existence. And I'm probably just going to cycle the Horror again. Got another Tortured Existence, which I do not want. So basically this game is looking pretty unwinnable right now. I need a very specific set of cards to draw to pull this off. Another Riverboa, so I'm on a 2-turn clock. Draw another land, which is not great. The Evolving Wild to set out my deck some more. Like I said, I still just have nothing going on here, so. 7, place another Pit Skulk, so I have to draw like a Spore Frog this turn. Then on my land for the swamp, I do draw a Spore Frog, which is nice. So that saves me for 1 turn. Still don't have much going on after that. So I'm going to need to draw like a Dredger or something to keep the dream alive. Obviously sacking the Spore Frog to save myself. I draw another creature, which is fine. So cycle that, get a Tortured Existence add, get a Spore Frog back, repeat. So just delaying and delaying and delaying. And get a Grave Scrabbler off the top, which is awesome. Will save me for 2 turns. Because I get to get a Spore Frog plus like a Horror or a Lampad or whatever, it doesn't matter. Either way, I'm just getting the Spore Frog back. So I choose to play out the Lampad here. This way I can rebuy the Grave Scrabbler. Because you count the mana, right? I've got the... So with the Lampad, next turn I'm going to sacrifice the Spore Frog. And then on my turn, I'm going to sacrifice the Scrabbler using 1 mana. And then hope to draw another creature, I guess. Yeah, this may be a mistake playing out the Lampad there. I'm not sure, but he concedes. He doesn't need to, but he does. So, like, he could very easily still have won that if I didn't draw another creature based on my mistakes there. So we go on to game 2. This is a pretty fast one because I think he just turn 4s me. That seems fine. It's a little bit clunky with the tapped lands and like the 3 drops and a Commune, but it's got 2 lands and a Tortured Existence, pretty much always keeping that. Vault Scourge. Getting a Sakura-Tribe Elder over there is really good. But he's on a pretty aggressive draw again. Obviously just grab a swamp from the library, play out Tortured Existence, play the Tranquil Thicket, pass. And I think here I just miss a land drop, so I think I'm just dead. Yeah, I missed the land drop, so I have to play Sakura-Tribe. And that basically seals my fate. Because he plays a Savage Swipe, which, you know, maybe I should have sacrificed Steve on my turn to avoid Savage Swipe. So it's probably a mistake on my part. It actually doesn't end up mattering, but well, maybe it does, because he wouldn't have hungered. He wouldn't have been able to hunger there. I don't know. So yeah, it was a mistake on my part to not playing with Savage Swipe. I did draw another land. Not that it's too relevant. I choose to commune here rather than like playing to another Savage Swipe. Oh yeah, I'm looking for a frog, but it doesn't matter because I'm just dead. Alright, I can pump with Brownscale. Gain life with Brownscale, but he has a Vines of Asteroid, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, so if I'd played around Savage Swipe / Hunger on turn 2 there, on my turn 2, or turn 3 rather, then I might have been able to win that, but I didn't, so I lost. So going on to game 3. I win the die roll here. I chose to mulligan the hand. I think it was just clunky and didn't do anything. I think I keep this one. It's a 6-card hand. I put a Crypt Rats on the bottom. Don't need 2 Crypt Rats generally in this matchup. 1 fires off, I win. If I'm able to stick 1, I win. Quarian Ranger is a great lead off for me because I just got this Fume Spitter that I'm going to kill the Quarian Ranger with. So that really sets him back from like being able to play a Skargan Pit Skulk or whatever. Still need to draw a little bit more action to be relevant in this game. But he's on a... I managed to stall him pretty hard with that blanking that Quarian Ranger. He's got 3 power on board. So drew another Crypt Rats, not ideal. Especially because now this Barren Moor is going to enter tapped, which is a bit unfortunate. And he's got a Rancor up, Silhana. So I need to draw like an untapped swamp, an untapped land in general. Because at this point, if he has like a Savage Swipe, and I play out this Crypt Rats, I think I'm just dead. But I don't have a choice. I have to play out the Crypt Rats. And then just hope he doesn't have it. So he gets in 7. I draw a swamp. I think I just immediately crack the Crypt Rats here. I'm hoping he like tries to pump or something, and then I'll activate Crypt Rats again. But I think, yeah, he just let that happen. So it's really good for me. I'll just jam out another Crypt Rats because I need to be able to stop him from developing a board. Okay, so draw Commune. Obviously gonna immediately cast that. Looking for Tortured Existence. Didn't get it. I think I grab a dead weight from this pile. Yeah. I'm just trying to keep him off of having any creatures at all. In another world, I might have grabbed a Lampad or even a Spore Frog, but I think my game plan here is just keep him off of creatures entirely. And it looks like I'm going to be successful at that. I don't even think I need Tortured Existence in this game. So just jam out the Wickerbough Elder. This thing can blow up a Vault Scourge too, which is great. And it looks like my opponent just doesn't really draw a whole lot. So I'm just getting the beatdowns with my 3 mana 1/1 and my 4 mana 3/3. And I think just jam out a Scrabbler here just to bring his clock down even further. So this means that he needs to play something. over the next couple turns, and whenever he does play stuff, and I've got the Crypt Rats to blow everything up, and then I've got like a backup, more pressure. So Quarian Ranger, it doesn't do anything. And here he plays a Silhana. Here I've got 2 open mana and a Crypt Rats. I think I just popped the Crypt Rats at his end step. Yeah. And then continue on the beatdowns. I'm going to cycle the Tranquil Thicket here. Yeah. Just going to continue the beatdowns. I think I play out another Scrabbler even. Yeah. And at this point, there's not much you can do to stop me from killing him. Alright, well, it's not showing here, but I think this is the point at which he concedes. So, that was round 1. Round 2 was against Kid with Gun. And he is on Mono Blue Delver, I believe. So I won the die roll again, that's great. Got a 7-card hand. I think here, I think I keep this. This has got a Fume Spitter, a Lampad, a Mesmeric Fiend. It's got enough disruption that I can stall to gain draw into Commune or Tortured Existence, so I do keep it. It's a pretty sketchy keep. But I'm thinking that last week he was on Delver, so I'm assuming he's on Delver again. I think that's why I kept it. So I'm getting in there with a Fume Spitter. I think I just played a Lampad here. Just trying to get the creatures down while he's tapped out. Continue the beatdowns. I think here I play another Lampad, maybe? Yeah. I play another Lampad, leave the mana open. Because I'm not sure if he's on blue-red. I should have known because he's on just plain islands, but my thinking there was that I wanted to be able to sacrifice a creature if I tried to kill it. So, putting a massive clock on him with my severely overcosted creatures. I think here I just cycle Barren Moor. Looking for Tortured Existence. I got a Commune, but he's got 2 mana open, so I'm not going to cast Commune. I'm just going to play the... Well, I guess I am going to cast Commune. That's an interesting choice on my part. I should have just played the tap on and cast. And then done the Mesmeric Fiend next turn to force the counterspell. But I chose not to do that. I think I was thinking that if I drew another Fiend, then if I drew a Tortured Existence, I wanted to be able to play the Fiend and have him counter and then just immediately play Tortured Existence. But anyway, doesn't matter too much. So here I'm definitely going to go for the Fiend and sacrifice it. And he reveals a hand of... I don't remember what it was. A whole bunch of Echoing Truths, a Delver. So 2 Truths, 2 Ninjas, and a Delver. I choose to take the Delver because I've got no way to deal with it right now. Like, I can block the Ninjas forever, even though he's got Echoing Truths. But I can always block the Ninjas, and I can't deal with the Delver, so... Cycle the Thicket, get in the beatdowns. Go for another Mesmeric Fiend again. This time I take one of his Echoing Truths. Because if I draw Tortured Existence and he Echoing Truths it, that's fine. I can't deal with 2 Echoing Truths and 2 counterspells for my Tortured Existence. It's not too relevant because he's at 8 life. I mean, I've gotten in the beatdowns periodically here, and he has not played Ninjas to stop my beatdowns. So pretty soon this thing's going to be Wicked Clock. Here he's just like cantripping for something, and I think he just doesn't hit anything relevant. Like maybe hits a bunch of lands, more ninjas, I'm not sure. But here he's got a creature, but I draw the Torch Existence conveniently right when he's tapped out. I do know he has the Echoing Truth, so I think I'd choose not to play out the Torch Existence until I can get use out of it. I don't know why I chose to play it. Never mind. He's definitely just going to bounce it right away, but that doesn't matter too much. So him bouncing it right away just tells me that he's probably got a counterspell, especially since he didn't ninja me there, right there. But that's fine, you know, I've got these guys still beating down. And he's got one more turn to play something. So now, he plays out this fairy to block. He doesn't have one of these ninjas. So here I just need to draw like a creature, any creature, and I do. So here I jam out the Grave Scrabbler, and he doesn't counter it, which means that it's lethal because I've got the extra land in my hand. So I attack. He blocks with Fairy, or he doesn't block at all. So I just sacrifice creatures to Lampad and kill him that way. That was game 1. Game 2. Keep this hand because it's got 2 lands and a Commune. It's good enough. I brought in like dead weights and what else did I bring in? Took out Spore Frogs. I brought in dead weights. Took out the Horrors of the Broken Lands. And then I brought in 2 Wickerbough Elders because I assume that he's going to have relics post board. Also, I figured out that he's mono blue, so he may have Spire Golems. So Wickerbough Elders are really good. Turn 1 Delver is going to get turn 1 dead weighted. It's one of the ways that mono blue can beat you is just by turning over an early Delver or by ninjaing. So kill off the Delver, got rid of that threat. He does have a couple fairies going on, and if I get ninja'd here, I'm in pretty big trouble. But we'll see what happens. He doesn't ninja me. So here I Commune, grab my Tortured Existence. I'm just going to jam out a Fume Spitter here. I think, no, I'm not. I choose not to play in the Spell Starter, so that was why I didn't jam out the Fume Spitter. So this turn, I will jam out the Fume Spitter. No, I just Commune. So I'm communing looking for another Tortured Existence to play out. But here I do play out this Fume Spitter just to hopefully take a little bit of this clock off of me. He ninjas, so I'm in pretty bad shape here. Here I go for the Mesmeric Fiend. And that Fiend reveals Spellstutter, Augur, Tragic Lesson, Fairies, Curses of Chains. Obviously just take the Spellstutter here, and then play out my Tortured Existence. So now I've got the engine online. I just need to hit some lands, and I'll be good to go. Just block the ninja because the Spellstutter doesn't matter anymore. Now that I know about it, and I got through my Tortured Existence, the Spellstutter's not. Doesn't matter. So he plays a couple more fairies. I draw land, which is an awesome draw. And I choose to wait, and I'm going to flash in the Scrabbler whenever he attacks. So we Echoing Truce my Torture Resistance. I'm gonna grab the Scrabbler back, and then I'm gonna Scrabble, I think, a Fume Spitter and a Mesmeric Fiend. I don't know, just a Wickerbough. Oh yeah, I was thinking of just playing out the Wickerbough to block. Obviously, just trade with the Ninja. So here, play out the Crypt Rats. He basically has to counter it, or else he loses his board. But that's okay, because then I get to play out Torch Resistance again, play my land, and pass. Now I can basically rebuy the Crypt Rats infinitely. And I've got another Crypt Rats in my hand too, so there's that. He's got Tragic Lesson going on now. But this card advantage doesn't matter. He grabs a Echoing Truth with this Tragic Lesson. So Augur grabs his Echoing Truth. And here I'll just play out the Mesmeric Fiend and take away his Echoing Truth. Well, which is great because we see the Annul. So if he did Truth it and then have the Echoing Truth, or have the Annul, then I'd have lost Torture Existence. Choose Commune here. I think I'm looking for like Tilling Treefolk or Krosan Tusker maybe. A little mana light, so for efficiency purposes I just dead weight the Spell Stutter right now. I don't want him rebuying it with the Ninja. So no blocks. Getting pretty low on life here. Don't remember if I dredge or not. I don't think I do. So here we're going to do the same kind of play again. Just grab the Grave Scrabbler on his attacks. Or I guess on his end step. For some reason I didn't do it there. I think it was just a misplay. By not grab the Scrabbler. Looks like my game is freezing here. Replays don't like dredge, I guess. That sucks because the rest of this game is actually kind of interesting. Oh, no, there we go. Choose not to dredge. And I don't know what's happening here. This is glitching out. I did something there. But I don't know what it was. Maybe I'm just Brownscale cycling. MTG replays are terrible. So it looks like the game is just not picking up anything that I'm doing anymore. Basically at some point I think I just get, I get the Tilling Treefolk and I start playing that out, getting lands. I play out Aerie Ouphes and that takes out a couple creatures, I think. Kind of sucks. Yeah, we just kind of lost everything that's happening in this game. The MTGO sucks. Alright. Anyway. So round 3 is against J. Her James. We'll see if it doesn't screw up again. Pretty sure he's on Delver. He's usually on Delver, so. Keep a hand of Torture Existence, because if he's on Delver, I need to get Torture Existence pronto. And that's basically the sole deciding factor in the game. Draw another Torture Existence, which is fine. It's basically dead draw once I've got the first one on the board. But maybe he's running Echoing Truths, in which case I do want a second one. So, that's cool. This hand is getting real clunky real fast, so I need to draw a green source very quickly. Which I think I do the next turn? No, just another black source. So he hard casts a Ninja. I do get a Mesmeric Fiend, which is great. He reveals 2 ninjas, a bolt, and a fork bolt. So I take the counterspell because that's the best thing that he can do. Just counterspell me. And having the Mesmeric Fiend on the table means that I'm going to chump block the ninja and then Scrabble it out. Scrabble next turn to get the Mesmeric Fiend back. And just set up my loop that way. Like, even if he counters it, doesn't matter. Okay, so I draw the green source, and it's a Golgari Rot Farm, which is great. It's 2 lands. I like 2 lands. Here he's going to counter this, but that doesn't matter a whole lot. I know he is, but I want to get the counterspell out of his hand anyway. And that's basically the only thing I can do, so other than not play the land. Or just Scrabble and get a Spore Frog back, which is not great. So choose to accept the ninja hits. It's one of the few decks where, like, an unchecked ninja is not really that bad. I mean, it can be, right? Because if he just continues to draw lands and infinite counterspells, then I lose. But I can play everything on his turn. Or I can play all the Scrabblers on his turn, which is just a huge pain in the butt for him. So I cycle the Spore Frog, get back a Fiend. Here I think I'm just going to play out a Fiend. Oh no, I Scrabble and get back 2 Spore Frogs. Oh yeah, he's tapped out right now, so that's why I do it that way. And then, so I get back both my Spore Frogs and play one of them out. This way I can just stop the ninja from dealing combat damage. So he's got 2 augers. He's gonna flash in ninja here, but I'm gonna Spore Frog it to prevent the ninja from drawing him a card. And then I'm basically going to repeat the same line throughout, I think, basically the rest of the game. Cycle the Horror of the Broken Lands there, just looking for more lands. Right now I can't really use... I just don't have enough mana yet to really set up a super loop. So here just play out another Spore Frog, and I think I just... Yeah, Fume Spitter, maybe discard the Scrabbler. Yeah. Because I think I'm going to rebuy the Horror and the Spore Frog, play out the Golgari Rot Farm, so I just wanted to tap out, especially while he's still tapped out. So that's why I'm doing it that way. So he's got some removal spells for my dudes. He chooses not to use a removal spell right there, which is, I think he's starting to determine that the writing's on the wall, and that I've got just too much resources for him to deal with. He's going to set it up to be able to actually get in some damage later, but for now, he's just kind of sitting. Which, you know, if we're at a standstill like this, I've got a much bigger advantage than he does. Choose to Commune here, looking for just anything, really. I think particularly looking for more Scrabblers. Got a Fume Spitter, another Spore Frog. I think I choose to play the Spore Frog here. Maybe I cycle Tusker. Yeah, I leave open Tusker to cycle. And then cycle Horror of the Broken Lands. And then I draw another Scrabbler, so... he Lightning Bolts my face, because he's figured out that he's not going to get in through combat. That's not going to work the second I draw a Brownscale. But I applaud him for realizing that that's his win con at this point. So in his end step, we're just going to cycle Tusker, get ourselves more land, draw another card, and we got Scrabbler, and we've even got some Tilling Treefolk to get some land back from our yard. At this point, I'm just going to start getting in. When he blocks with Augur, I just sacrifice a Fume Spitter to kill it. Play another Fume Spitter, he counters... Which doesn't matter, I'll just Tilling Treefolk. He counters this too. Yeah. And then I'll just jam out another Scrabbler, get back Fume Spitter and Tusker maybe, I'm not sure. Nope, get back Fume Spitter and Treefolk, play another Fume Spitter. So this loop is effectively infinite. He chooses to Forked Bolt my Fume Spitter, so I'll just sack them both and kill a ninja. I think here he will Scred my Scrabbler to get through his ninja. Or Bolt Scrabbler, or just let me block, I guess. That works too. He gets in another ninja. So I'm going to go for the Treefolk again. Just trying to hit my land drops. Switch Sakura-Tribe for Grave Scrabbler. And then I play the Swamp. So this means that if he counters the Scrabbler, then I can grab it back immediately and just play a Fume Spitter. Choose to attack with only one Scrabbler in case he has like multiple removal spells. I don't want him to draw out of this with Ninja, so I'll just choose to attack conservatively there. He's got another Deprive, and an Augur will draw it. So at this point I'm switching out Spore Frog because I don't need it anymore. And just gonna Scrabble until the end of time. Getting with both this time. Blocks, I'm gonna sack the Fume Spitter and kill it. And use Grave Scrabbler, get back a Fume Spitter, Mesmeric Fiend. Doesn't matter, he deprives it, but we'll just do it again. And he concedes. Keep this hand of 2 lands, Fiends, Aerie Ouphes, Grave Scrabbler. It's pretty clunky, not gonna lie. But as long as I keep on drawing lands, this hand's fine. Plays a turn 1 Delver, which means his hand's much less fine. So, if his Delver flips at this point, I'm pretty toast. Especially if he's got counterspells. But he's a ninja, which is actually kind of even worse. Because now I've got nothing going on. I think next turn I'm going to play out the Lampad. Oh no, I just draw a deadweight. So yeah, I'm just going to deadweight the ninja immediately while he's tapped out. Because if I play the Lampad and he has a mountain when he bolts it, then I'm really dead. So here I'll play out the Lampad, play out a Fiend, I guess. He reveals a hand that had like Forked Bolt, Echoing Truth, Relic of Progenitus. So I take the Forked Bolt because if I take anything else, he's just going to bolt the Fiend away. So, and then get back whatever I took. So this way at least the Fiend can sit back and maybe block a Delver. His Delver, thankfully doesn't flip again, but I will absolutely trade here. I will trade a Mesmeric Fiend for a Delver every single day of the week. So he draws a Scred with his Augur. It's kind of a pain in the butt because that kind of takes away my Lampad plan. And he draws Relic. Now, Relic is kind of a pain in the butt. Exile the Evolving Wilds, which is actually a mistake there. I should have exiled the Deadweight. And it is actually relevant because I draw a Tilling Treefolk the next turn, which I would have definitely played if that Evolving Wilds is still in the graveyard. But it wasn't. So, gotta take a different line now. I think I just, cycle the Tusker and get more land. Don't want to miss the land drops. Oh, and I was also digging for Tortured Existence, which I happened to draw, luckily. He does have an Echoing Truth for the Tortured Existence, but he doesn't have a counterspell for it. He does a Spell Stutter. But just gonna make him use the Echoing Truth. He doesn't have enough mana to actually counter it yet, so I do get some value out of this Tortured Existence. I think. Another land's a great draw. I choose to play out the untapped land. I just play out the Aerie Ouphes. This card will... It's hard for them to counter, right? Because he can't Spell Stutter it. It's 5 mana, 3/3, and he's going to... He's just going to get 2 for 1 with it. And there's nothing. Oh, all right. So he Aerie Ouphes he Echoing Truce the Tortex resistance. So I choose to, in response, just kill his Fairy Seer with the Ouphes. And now he has to scred my Aerie Ouphes if he wants to counter Tortex resistance the way back down. Oh no, he just fork bolts it. But anyway, yeah, he has to use his use the spell to kill the Ouphes if he wants to counter my stuff on the way back down. So here I think I'm gonna go with Lampad and Mesmeric Fiend. And sack the Fiend. Take a look at his hand and exile something permanently. I think I go for the counter spell here. I might go for the spell starter though. Not sure. Yeah, no, I took the counter spell. Because I can always just like draw it on the Fume Spitter or something to deal with the spell starter. So he plays out a Delver and doesn't attack. So now I don't have a whole lot going on. I think I just played out a Tilling Treefolk blind. No, I played a Faerie Macabre. Playing out the Faerie Macabre and just to block the Delver. I'm not worried about Mystic Sanctuary shenanigans yet. So he screds the Faerie Macabre because he understands where this game is going. His Delver flips off of a Ponder. And he starts getting Elves Delver. So pretty rough. I need to draw some kind of a removal for spell starter or just another Torch Existence. Draw a Fume Spitter, which is great. Fume Spitter obviously just kind of forces him to spell stutter it, which he does, but then I get to play Torch Existence and get immediate value with Scrabbler. So Scrabbler, I think I grab Ouphes and Tusker. I remember thinking at the time that I just wanted to get as much value as possible for this line. But in hindsight, I probably should have grabbed like the Aerie Ouphes and the Fume Spitter. But I was thinking that both of these are going to provide me 2 cards, and if he relics either of them, then I lose the 2-for-1 that I get. But I think Fume Spitter was actually probably the proper grab there. But ends up not mattering. So drew a Stinkweed. It's awesome. Just gonna cycle the Tusker right away. Draw a card, get a land. I got a Brownscale, which is awesome. Looks like any dredgers are fine now. So now basically I'm gonna force his hand and make him pop this relic at some point. No, I already played that with spell starter. And then even if he doesn't pop the relic, like just Stinkweed is a pain in the butt for his flyers to get through. My whole plan here is just force the relic pop. So yep, just dredging the Stinkweed. Jam out the Ouphes while he's tapped out, and then probably just kill his Delver. Yeah. So kill his Delver and he'll take out another Fairy at another point too, unless he spreads it. I'm perfectly okay with. He goes for a Sanctuary to grab a Forked Bolt, which, you know, I'm not even going to bother with trying to exile that. Like a Forked Bolt I don't care about. I can deal with creatures. Or I can deal with him removing my creatures. That doesn't matter. But here I am going to try and like force this relic pop. And if I don't force the pop, then I'm just going to gain a lot of life with the Brownscales, which is what I do. And then dredge again with the Stinkweed. Grab the Tilling Treefolk. Again, I'm trying to pop the relic. He finally decides to pop. So I grab a Faerie Macabre because I know at this point he does have a Sanctuary. But I choose Torch Resistance and get the Faerie Macabre back, and I think just leave the Brownscale in my hand. Yeah. So Spell Starter comes back down. I'm just gonna kill it right away. Don't need another ninja going on. And now my plan is to just play out the Ouphes. Use Lampad to sacrifice the Grave Scrabbler. And then Grave Scrabbler will get me back 2 more guys. And Dredge with the Brownscale to gain more life. And the game quickly gets out of Jayher's reach from this point on. So if I got a Scrabbler, I'm cycling to get 2 creatures back a turn. I've got a Sacrifice Outlet. And then I'm going to play out this Aerie Ouphes, which he has to counter, which is perfectly okay. And I'm going to Faerie Macabre to disrupt his Deprive lock. And then just keep on doing this until he's done. His 1 mana beats do not matter. And just draw Crypt Rats. So I think that's basically the win right there. Just jam out the Crypt Rats and Crypt Rats for 3 or 4. No, I don't choose to do it yet. Gotta do it now in his attack. Yep. Just clean sweep the board. He draws a Stormbound Geist, which is pretty good, but it's not good enough. Fume Spitter is gonna get back Aerie Ouphes. I can Dredge with the Brownscale again. Just play out the Aerie Ouphes. And here's a sweet play of the day, which you'll see coming up. So he attacks the Stormbound guys. I'm gonna sacrifice the Ouphes to kill it. And then when it's in the graveyard, I'm going to flash in Scrabbler, getting back Faerie Macabre and Tilling Treefolk. And then Faerie Macabre is Undying, dude. So that is pretty much game. He does concede right there. Where am I at? Okay. So then round 4 is against Glendalough. I'm going to take a little break, I think. Alright, so against Glendalough, who's on Familiars. Another hand's perfectly keepable. Got 2 lands, Torch Resistance, and Sakura-Tribe Elder. Usually pretty good, so I'm gonna fetch a swamp right away. I choose to play out the Fume Spitter because just in case he's on mono blue. I don't actually know what he's on just yet. I know he's typically on Familiars, but in case he's not. Just grab the Fume Spitter, play out the Tranquil Thicket. Drew another Torch Existence. At this point, I think I just jam out one of them. No, I go for a Sakura-Tribe. So he correctly prohibits Sakura-Tribe. And from this point on, I'm just land screwed, I think, the rest of the game. Plus, he just draws a million cards, like Compulsive Research and whatnot. So, while he's tapped out, I play out a Tortured Existence. But, last turn I think I should have played Tortured Existence and kept the Sakura-Tribe in my hand. But, because he would have prohibited it and then maybe tapped out the next turn. He does a Deep Analysis and he's tapped out, so I choose to Faerie Macabre. Because I just don't have anything else going on at this point. I don't tap out for anything, but I'm just land screwed in this game, and it's over way before I concede. Because now he prohibits my Sakura-Tribe again, which is unfortunate. I assume that they only have a couple of prohibits, but he's drawn enough cards that it doesn't matter. So he wins that one, because I just never draw another land. Game 2. I get the pretty good hand too. Getting 2 lands, Torch Resistance, always keepable. So obviously you can get out the Torch Resistance and then play the Evolving Wilds. So Wilds grabs a swamp. Drawing Tilling Treefolk there is pretty good. Choose to Commune here. Just looking for more action. Got a horror, a bunch of lands. I took the Faerie Macabre to stop his flashback spells and shenanigans. I think next turn I go for the Tilling Treefolk. Oh yeah, he kills my Torch Resistance. I think I just draw another one like right away next turn. Yeah. So I do use the Treefolk to grab 2 Rot Farms. I choose not to play out the Torch Resistance that turn, even though he's tapped out, because I missed my land drops. So gotta hit the land drops first against them, and then worry about Torch Resistance next. Just got Sunscape out, but what am I doing here? I think I tried to bait out the Prohibit or something. Or I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, yeah, just play out the... So play the Lampad trying to bait out another Prohibit. Doesn't quite work. But I'm basically just waiting for him to tap out again to replay Torch Resistance. Which might take a while for me. In the meantime, we're just going to get in with everything. He chooses not to block anything, which is fine by me. So now I just Crypt Rats to wipe the board. And play out the Torch. Oh yeah, wipe the board to take away his cost reduction from Prohibit. And then play out Torch Resistance. So he does a compulsive research first here rather than casting Deep Analysis first. So I take that opportunity to exile his Deep Analysis and his Sunscape Layer. I was thinking that he had Mortuary Mire in his deck. He does not actually have Mortuary Mire in his deck, so exiling Sunscape Layer is not good there. Should have just exiled something else. It's not particularly relevant, but just as a thought. So draw another Torch Existence, which is fine because he's got Nature's Chance in his deck, so having a backup is good. At this point in the game, I do not have a Grave Scrabbler, so basically I'm just going to go for like straight value, getting back 2 Evolving Wilds and Jungle Hollow, and then use the Brownscale to get another Faerie Macabre. So Mystic Sanctuary again. He's trying to grab his Nature's Chant. I just exile his Nature's Chant. I think a compulsive research with my Faerie Macabre. He's got endless amounts of card draw. So dredging the Brownscale now. And I'm basically going to be dredging every single turn from here on out. I'm even going to do turbo dredging, which is where I got a Horror of the Broken Lands, so I Torch Resistance the Brownscale for a Horror, and then I cycle the Horror, but then use Brownscale to dredge instead of drawing a card from my library. So here I'm just filling up my graveyard. I'm looking for Grave Scrabbler. Don't happen to get it yet. And then I leave open 1 black mana to get back a Faerie Macabre if I need to. So another Seagate Oracle, another Mystic Sanctuary, so I'll exile whatever he targeted there. I don't remember what it was, but he targeted some stuff. I just exiled with Faerie Macabre. Can't let him get value off the Sanctuary. Obviously, still just dredging the Brownscale. And gonna keep on turbo dredging. Still haven't hit my Scrabbler. Still haven't hit my Scrabbler. And then we just leave up 2 black mana now for Brownscales. So halfway through the deck, I haven't hit Scrabbler, and also just haven't hit a Stinkweed Imp. He's got a Sage's Road Denizen, which actually is going to help me a little bit if he decides to start milling me. So get back to Horror of the Broken Lands, and do not... I'm never letting him have unquestioned access to Mystic Sanctuary or anything from his graveyard. That's why I'm always leaving open a black mana, even if I don't have a Faerie Macabre in my hand. So now I dredge out 2 Grave Scrabblers, which is awesome. I think I just go for one of them now. Oh no, I go for the Tilling Treefolk. So, yeah, just trying to play out the Tilling Treefolk, get more land drops. And then Scrabble away. More and more creatures from him, and he chooses to mill me. It doesn't show what he milled, but he milled some stuff, I think. So Scrabble, get some stuff. I choose to get the Lampad and another Grave Scrabbler. The Lampad to hopefully start being able to sacrifice my own guys. Get a Mesmeric Fiend back in my hand. I think that was a correct play, but it's the play I chose. So go for the Lampad and the Mesmeric Fiend. And then when he counters it, which is okay, I just Scrabble it back. Eventually I do get through. So grab another Faerie Macabre and a Mesmeric Fiend. I'm gonna go for the Fiend. He flickers his Seagate Oracles. And I'm just gonna sacrifice the... What did I take? I don't remember what it was, but I think I took like a Deep Analysis or a Prismatic Strands or something like that. But here's his hand, and this becomes relevant a little bit later. He chooses to Sanctuary, trying to get his Flicker back or something. I just Faerie Macabre it. So his hand becomes relevant later because there's a pretty big misplay that I make at one point. Although it might have been game 3 that I misplayed. I don't remember. But, so just dredging the Brownscale because I don't want to draw a non-creature at this point because my hand's out of gas. I mean, I can refill it pretty quickly with Grave Scrabbler, but I just need to make sure that I'm never drawing dead. So getting back Faerie Macabre and another Grave Scrabbler. So I jam out Crypt Rats here, and I think I just sweep the board. Yeah. Get rid of everything on board because I'm running pretty low on my library, 15 cards. And I didn't want him to like have a ghostly flicker and then flicker his Sage's Rose and Seagates and whatnot. He's another Faithful. He's got 2 more Faithfuls. He's gonna gain 100 life. I don't know how much life. He gains a ton of life. Choose to draw from my library, and I draw a Grave Scrabbler, thankfully. but I chose not to draw from my library because I had a Faerie Macabre. So I don't think it mattered that much to draw from my library. So he kicks to counter my Grave Scrabbler. That's okay. I'll just do another one. And grab a Tilling Treefolk and another Scrabbler. Get a couple lands with the Treefolk and pass turn. Grave Scrabbler up. So again, his Sanctuary is trying to grab a spell. Exile with Faerie Macabre. And then on some turn, we have Scrabbler grabbing back Crypt Rats, another Scrabbler. So here we're just going to Crypt Rat for infinite. He prohibits, doesn't matter. Just going to play out of Crypt Rats again. And then actually sweep the board this time. This Barren Moor needs to just become a swamp. I don't think I've ever cycled it. I don't think I've ever cycled the Barren Moor. So, yeah, Scrabbler's going to grab 2 Scrabblers. And then 2 Scrabblers are going to grab, like, Faerie Macabre and I think Horror of the Broken Lands. Because I think at this point I'm realizing that my clock is pretty low. So, yeah, just jam out the Horror. I think these are a couple of blockers that he plays out. I don't know, flickers his Sanctuaries. So, I just exile his things he's starting with Sanctuary. Plays out a Sunscape, but oh, flashback Chainer's Edict. Smart of me. So I attack here and Scrabble, getting back 2 Faerie Macabres, and then just I'll leave it open after that because I'm gonna kill him next turn with the Horror. I'll choose to get back a Faceless Butcher and a Lampad because I'm going to Faceless Butcher and exile his Sunscape. Oh, yeah, I go for the Fiend first, and here's why this is kind of relevant, because I knew he had a Dispel in his hand, and he hasn't played it yet, and he had 1 card left in his hand. So I played out this Fiend, and I take the Dispel, which is completely unnecessary. When I could have just killed him this turn, I'd have played Faceless Butcher. I actually still might kill him this turn, but worth noting that it took away my options. Yeah, actually I do kill him this turn. So. Yep. There you go, there's game 2. Go back to game 3. Another fine hand. Torch Existence, 2 lands. I need to draw the 3rd land to be in the game. And I think I don't. I think that's what happens. So, here you saw, I got the Torch Existence out. But I've got a bunch of 3-drops in my hand. I can't play any of them. I've got a Lampad, but that doesn't do anything. So land number 3 eludes me for I don't even know how many turns. While he just is playing out a bunch of stuff. Chainer's Edict doesn't do anything for me. Got a Lampad. He tries to grab something with the Sanctuary. I just exile with Faerie Macabre. Doesn't matter. He's got a Deep Analysis. So turn 6, I still haven't hit my 3rd land. And I drew another Torch Existence, which is terrible. And he just continues to draw cards and get value. Get Faerie Macabre back from the yard. Finally hit my 3rd land on turn 7. So, woohoo, I guess. Can't do anything with it yet, but I'm going to definitely be cycling the Tusker. He's able to flashback Deep Analysis, which I think in hindsight I probably should have exiled it with Faerie Macabre. But I didn't, so that was a mistake. In watching this replay that I realized I could have gained myself some more advantage. Cycle of Tusker, choose not to dredge with Stinkweed. I've got plenty of creatures in my hand. I don't need to dredge. I've got a ton of creatures in my hand. He discards a Prismatic Strands, which is kind of a pain in the butt. And it's going to be a pain in the butt for the rest of the game for me. So I got that land, but it doesn't actually matter yet. So I just play out my tap land and get past here. Discarding Scrabbler to get back something, because it's free basically is why I did it. So he prohibits the Scrabbler, which is, I'm perfectly okay with him prohibit on my Scrabbler right there. Because I was going to have to discard something anyway, I probably would have discarded whatever I got back. So he's got Mold Drifter. Again, choose not to dredge. Still hitting my land drops here, but I think at this point I'm going to probably grab Scrabbler and then Scrabble back Tusker. But here he's just generating just a ton of value at this point because he's got 2 Mold Drifter, he's played a Sunscape, he's even got a Deep Analysis in the yard. So I'm pretty heavily screwed here. I think if I don't Faerie Macabre, then that's terrible for me. Should have probably Faerie Macabre his Analysis and Strands, but I didn't. So we're gonna go with the Scrabbler, getting back Scrabbler and Tusker. So he goes for a Ghostly Flicker here, getting back his Sanctuary and a Plains. And here he's blowing up my Torture Existence. That's why he did it that way. But I choose to just exile the Prohibit and Ghostly Flicker. And in hindsight, I should have exiled the Prismatic Strands, but I didn't. So there's pretty big misplays right here on my part. It's like Sanctuary froze up. The replay, I think. Okay. Oops. Pause. 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 Stop. Okay. So it glitched out there, but basically to summarize, what happened there was that he had a Nature's Chant. He blew up my Torture Existence. I think when I tried to replay it again, this game goes on for a lot longer. I know I did eventually time out, but at some point I had played Crypt Rats, wiped the board, and I think I basically had control of the game, but I timed out. Kind of hard to say. I can't remember very well. Maybe that was the next match, but either way, I lost one timeout here. And I probably would have lost either way because of that huge delay in my land drops. Like, if I don't hit my 3rd land until turn 7, I'm gonna lose. So that was that one. What we got here? So now we've got final round of the Swiss was against Mono Black Control. And Mono Black Control is one of Torture Existence's best matchups. And there's only one way that they win, which you'll see in game 2. So won the die roll. Don't know what I'm up against. This hand is fine, blind. It's got a lot of disruption. It's got Sakura-Tribe to ramp. So I'm gonna keep this. And given that I'm on the play, I'm just going to play out the tap land first. If he's on like fairies or something, then I regret not playing the Fume Spitter, but... Hang on a sec. Alright, sorry there. So he let off with a swamp, which is always a good matchup. Basically, any deck that plays swamps is a good matchup for me. So here's just play out the Sakura-Tribe. Maybe I can get him to use a removal spell on it. Which he doesn't, but that's okay. I don't need the lands yet, so I do not sacrifice Sakura-Tribe just yet. So I'm just going to give him the beatdowns. And then play the Fume Spitter and bounce and play the Brownscale, or the Rot Farm. Bouncing my swamp. So Rager tells me he's on mono black control, or maybe like black red, but probably mono black based on what he's done so far. So I'm gonna go ahead and thin out my deck now, because now that I know he's a mono black, I need to find Torch Existence. So this deck is really, or this matchup is really good for me, provided I can get Torch Existence. I don't have Torch Existence yet, so I'm just going to play it out 2-3. That's kind of one of the benefits about Black-Green 2 is that you can play this Golgari Brownscale. In some matchups, it's pretty relevant as it's just a 2-3. Because now his Rager can't attack into me. And I just block. He plays a Witches. Which is not relevant. And then I draw Torch Existence. From here, the game's pretty much over. Because what you'll see is that opponents have no idea how to play against this deck a lot of the time. So when Torch Existence is on the table, he's going to attack into my creatures, and I just don't care. It does not matter what they're doing, how they're attacking. I'm just going to get infinite value forever. So here, I'm just going to choose to start wearing down his creatures. Start off the ones with Devotion first, because they are the most relevant creatures. Because the one way that mono black control can kill me is with Grey Merchant chains. So try and prevent that from happening. So we just go for killing off all their Devotion creatures. And then Scrabble back Sakura-Tribe and Fume Spitter. And then we're going to do this forever. And I've also even got a Crypt Rats to be able to blow up my own Grave Scrabbler, which is pretty nice. Get in the beatdowns, because I think my plan here is to Crypt Rats. Or not. Well, yeah, I choose to kill off his his Witches instead of Crypt Ratting. So yeah, just play out Sakura-Tribe. Trying to get more land out, because now I can just, if I get more land out, then I can loop it and lock him out of the game. He plays a Germanic Angler, but it just doesn't matter. A 5/5 can be blocked infinitely as long as it doesn't have trample. So get more land with Sakura-Tribe, and then grab a Grave Scrabbler. And we will keep on doing this. Scrabble is going to get back Sakura-Tribe and Fume Spitter. Play out the Sakura-Tribe, play out the Fume Spitter. Pass turn. He defiles my Scrabbler, so this is like a big mistake on his part. You should not be defiling Scrabbler ever. It doesn't matter too much, but like you shouldn't kill Scrabbler, because the minute you kill Scrabbler, I just get to get it back with any other creature in my hand. And then to top things off, he also like killed Golgari Brownscale, which is bizarre. But so just chump the Angler and then sacrifice Fume Spitter to kill his Chittering Rats. And then Sakura-Tribe to get more land. Then we'll get back Scrabbler again. Dredging Brownscale, just looking for lands now. Lands in Tilling Treefolk. So Scrabbler to get back a Sakura-Tribe and another Fume Spitter. I think at this point I actually probably should have grabbed the Crypt Rats instead of the Fume Spitter, but I didn't do that. He's going to create a couple 2/2s, which is perfectly fine. 2/2s don't care, or I don't care about 2/2s when I've got Crypt Rats. He's going to chump a Scrabbler. Sacrifice Sakura-Tribe to get more land. Then at this point I'm pretty sure I'm going to Crypt Rat. So I'm going to start reducing the size of this Kermac Angler. So using all my mana to make sure that I gain a little bit of life from Brownscale. Dredge Brownscale again. Scrabble again. Getting back the same creatures, Sakura-Tribe and Fume Spitter. He flashes back his 2/2 zombie thing. These attacks don't matter, but I'll block them all, and I'll trade I'll sacrifice Sakura-Tribe and then trade my Scrabbler for a zombie. Then get back. That was a mistake. I actually probably should have grabbed Scrabbler and then step and Scrabbled, but instead I just grabbed Crypt Rats. I'm gonna blow up his board now, and then do a Grave Scrabbler. He does a Chittering Rats, which is actually kind of annoying, but it doesn't matter. Which is annoying, but then dredge back the Brownscale, just another creature in my yard. Scrabble attacks, and then I'm turbo dredging with this with the horror, which I discussed earlier. Just gonna gain a ton of life and turbo dredge. So then I start dredging with the Stinkweed instead, because I'm looking to get more lands in the graveyard so I can Treefolk them back. And then obviously, like I said, I just played out the Barren Moor. I think I'm watching these replays. I'm obviously just gonna play the Barren Moor, or change the Barren Moor to a swamp. He Chain Edicts me, which is perfectly acceptable. We will allow him to Chain Edict forever. He has another one, which is also perfectly acceptable, because I've just got another Grave Scrabbler in my hand. So we flash in the Scrabbler, block his Chittering Rats, get back my own Scrabbler, and probably a Treefolk if I had to guess. Yeah. Even though I've got no lands in the graveyard, I think I dredge with the Stinkweed here. Yeah. Just trying to get more lands in the graveyard and play out the Treefolk to get a couple lands back. Scrabble to get back a Scrabbler and a Lampad. And the Lampad will set up an infinite Scrabbler loop. His Whisper Agent is completely useless. Well, I guess it does take a swamp off the top of his library. So, Scrabble again, grabbing a Mesmeric Fiend and a Horror. At this point, I think I grabbed the Horror basically just to close out the game. Cycle of 2 Tranquil Thickets. And I don't even need to dredge anymore because I got 5 creatures in my hand. So attack with the Scrabblers. And then, because he didn't block, I can just kill him. Actually, I think I just killed him either way. But so Crypt Rats is lethal. So game 2. Oops. So I mulligan to 4. and ended up keeping this hand, I believe. Shipping back, I think 3 lands. Oh, no, I ship back 2 lands and a Treefolk. Because I'm just thinking I'm going to Commune on turn 2. But that doesn't quite work out for me. So he duresses me. Which is actually just a terrible card to bring in against Tortured Existence, but what are you going to do? We'll lead off the Evolving Wilds. I'm going to fetch a Forest here. So, draw the Tortured Existence, which is great, but I've got nothing to feed it with. Because he took my Commune, so... And I drew another Tortured Existence. I choose to play it out here because I'm trying to empty my hand for Chittering Rats. So Tilling Treefolk, nice draw there. Get to get my Evolving Wilds back and thin out my deck a little bit more and hit my land drop. It's not perfect, but Treefolk is about as good a draw as I could have hoped for. Drew Commune, which is awesome. So maybe we'll get going now. So my Commune reveals like a Faerie Macabre and a Mesmeric Fiend and a Lampad. So not great. I needed a Dredger right there. Didn't quite get it. He chooses to activate a Spell Bomb now, which is bizarre, but I'll take it, whatever. Got a Rager, and I think basically the rest of the game I just draw lands. Yeah, he's got an Angler. Drew a Lampad, which is not bad, but just the fact that I don't have a Dredger at this point, or a yeah, he defiles my Lampad. So I don't have a Dredger at this point, and I don't have a Grave Scrabbler, so I think this Angler is basically just going to kill me. Oh no, he jams out some Grey Merchants first. So Grey Merchant takes me down to 11. I'm basically forced to keep on chumping this Angler. And I mean, I fight the good fight, but drawing only lands here is my death knell. He unearths the Rager, plays another Grey Merchant. I think that's, yeah, that's, okay, so I go to 1. And then I think now I draw the Grave Scrabbler, but it's too late. Because now he can just kill one of my things, and it's lethal. Which I believe he does. Yep. So you saw there the Grey Merchants both took off huge chunks of my life, but I had the engine online. I just needed 1 or 2 more turns to pull it off, but Grey Merchants took off big chunks of my life. So going on to game 3. Perfectly keepable hand, double Tortured Existence is not usually where you want to be, but if he's keeping in duresses, then I'm okay with having 2 Tortured Existences in my open hand. But it's got the all important stuff. It's got a Stinkweed Imp, Dredger, Tortured Existence, and plenty of land. So looks like turn 1 he will duress again. You can only take 1 of them though, so sucks for him. And I even drew like a land creature, which is perfect. Because now I can just sit back and cycle Tusker, get a ton of lands. He does have the Spell Bomb. A bit annoying. I've played around that for a little bit. But I think he's not going to crack it properly for a long time. So. And I still get to get my 2 for 1 off the Tusker even if he doesn't crack it. So against Nihil Spellbomb, you want to try and prevent your opponent from drawing a card with it. So in general, I'm going to like bait out the Spellbomb crack. What did I do there? Oh, during my upkeep, I Torture Existence is Tusker back to my hand, and then I dredge with Stinkweed. So here, I'm still trying to bait out this Spellbomb crack, so I discard Stinkweed to get back Scrabbler, and he doesn't take the bait. So, not quite sure there. I think I definitely would have cracked right there to get rid of the Scrabbler, along with the Wickerbough Elders, but he doesn't do that, so what are you going to do? Cycle the Tranquil Thicket, choosing not to dredge. Choose not to dredge right there on my draw step 2. And so here we're going to make him pop this Spellbomb, I think. Yeah. So I try and grab Scrabbler. He pops the Spellbomb in response. So then I will Torture Existence Scrabble in response and get back my Scrabbler, and I think, what else do I get back? I don't remember. Maybe just a Brownscale? Yeah. Let's get back to Brownscale. He kills the Scrabbler, but it's fine. I've got my 2 creatures. Oops. Stop. Stop. Okay. Ah. I don't know how to slow this down. Oh man. I'm gonna restart this. Try and get back to where we were. I accidentally hit the speed up button there. And that's... I just gotten to the point where he popped the Spellbomb. Okay, so it's not too far from here. Okay, so right. So I Brownscale, grabbing the Scrabbler, he pops the Spellbomb, and then I Scrabbler, grabbing the Scrabbler and the Brownscale, saving both of those. And he defiles my Scrabbler to exile it, which is perfectly okay. Then he plays another Spellbomb, which is pretty annoying. But I immediately draw the Caustic Caterpillar, because sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and I blow up his Spellbomb. I think I just cycle the Tusker here. Not sure. Put the Chittering Rats, and then I put Faerie Macabre on top, and I cycle the Tusker. Drew another Scrabbler, which is perfect. And then cycle Horror of the Broken Lands and Scrabble away. Getting back Horror and Tusker. And leaving up mana. I think I cycled Tusker again. He plays a Green Merchant, so I have now come to the realization that his last 3 cards may be like 1 or 2 Garys. So pretty rough, but I need to fill up 1 more lands, so I'm gonna keep on doing that. I'll just leave up the mana now because I'm gonna do like a double Scrabbler and try and take out his Green Merchant. Yep. So he plays another Green Merchant, which is, it's getting pretty rough on me now. So Scrabble, getting back both the Scrabbler and the Tusker. He defiles the Scrabbler. Cycle the Horror of the Broken Lands, and then I'm going to Scrabble again. Getting back the same 2 creatures. Oops. And then cycle the Horror again. So Just gonna block the Rager. Kind of surprised you can upkeep, put the Brownscale in the yard. But I didn't, so it is what it is. So now I'm gonna grab the Mesmeric Fiend and just see what's in his hand. And he kills it in response, and then he reveals 2 swamps, I believe. Oh no, he has no cards in hand. So Torch Existence, grabbing back on Mesmeric Fiend. Basically I was just putting the Brownscale in the yard there. And then we're going to Scrabble, getting back Brownscale and Horror. And then get back the Scrabbler. And the Horror. Discard a Treefolk and a Mesmeric Fiend. Chump with the Grave Scrabbler. Activate Commune with the Gods. Looking for the Lampad, which I found it. So the Lampad will block the Grey Merchant and then also let me sacrifice Scrabbler. He has Whisper Agent, which actually puts a little bit more pressure on me. But Scrabbler's just going to kill it in combat. So, again, Scrabbler getting back Mesmeric Fiend and another Scrabbler. We'll block a Grey Merchant and then trade with Whisper Agent. And then cycle to get Scrabbler back to our hands. I think go for getting Brownscale in the yard, and then I think I start dredging. Yeah, just start dredging for life at this point. Because I'm still pretty close to just dying to a Grey Merchant. And not a big fan of that personally, so I play out the Jungle Hog to gain a little bit more life. And then play out the Horror of the Broken Lands to stop his Grey Merchants from attacking altogether. And then also being able to put, pretty low on clock time at this point, so I need to start putting some pressure on him. So just get in with the Horror. I think he just chump blocks and I let it happen. No, he doesn't chump block, so he didn't chump block. He didn't have any cards in his hand. I think I could have killed him. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So yeah, I could have killed him because if I'd have actually activated Horror, I didn't. But that could have been lethal that turn if I just cycled everything with cycled Tortured Existence and then sacrificed something to Lampad. But I didn't do that, so that was my fault. So here I'm going to do something tricky that doesn't matter a whole lot. But so I cycled something to pump up the Horror, and then I'm going to Crypt Rats for 4. And then he's going to Witches on my Horror, and I think I misclick and target my own Lampad. Yeah. Because I was thinking I was going to sacrifice the Lampad, or sacrifice my creatures. So I discard a card to make Horror 1 bigger so that it doesn't die to Witch's activation. Then I sacrifice the Lampad to its own ability and start Torture Existencing to get lethal on with my Horror. I make my Horror into an 18-11 and beat down. Could have won the previous turn, but I misplayed and didn't count. So, alright. And then which is again against Glen Unfamiliars. It kind of sucks. I think this is like maybe one of the one finals deck that was actually kind of a rough matchup for me. So game 1, I mulligan to 6 and keep this hand. Discarding Spore Frog because I know he's on Familiars. Or bottoming a Spore Frog, I should say. So, I think I go for the Commune here, looking for and finding the Torch of Existence. But he's got 2 open mana, so can't quite play it yet. So just play out the Fume Spitter and I think I'll Rot Farm, yeah. That'll clear the way for Torch of Existence with a Mesmeric Fiend next turn, but he plays a Seagate, so I get to just jam out Torch of Existence instead. Which I'm perfectly okay with. I'm still going to Mesmeric Fiend and look at his hand. I think he doesn't have any white mana here, so I think I take Muldrifter. Yeah. If I take Muldrifter here, which may have been a mistake. Maybe I should have taken the Familiar. Or the Seagate that he could actually play, or even the Preordain. But I was thinking that I just didn't want to draw extra cards. So he kind of, he Preordains into an Ash Barrens and gets a plane so he can play out his Sunscape. Which is pretty unfortunate for me, and maybe a case for why I should have taken the Sunscape instead. Cycle of Horror of the Broken Lands. Taking for... I don't remember. But play out the Crypt Rats while he's tapped out. His Mystic Sanctuary gets a Preordain back. Just X these out. So here I'm at kind of a rough spot because I do just need to sweep his board, but if I do that I can't do anything else this turn. Oh, you know what? I think I just, play Treefolk and then grab back both those things. And then I can still sweep his board. Which works out pretty well for me. He's going to try and flicker, get back his flicker. I'm going to Faerie Macabre it. And it looks like the Mystic Sanctuary bug has happened again. Oh man. That's annoying. Okay. So to summarize, this game goes on for a really long time. And I do end up winning. Via some combination of just exiling everything he tries to do with Sanctuary, Crypt Rats wiping his board, and eventually just running him out of resources. But it goes down to time. Well, it goes down to like 8 minutes left on the clock, so anyway. Sorry about that on the replay glitching out, but what are you gonna do? Sanctuary glitched out. So game 2, I think this one doesn't last very long. So I've got 7.5 minutes left on my clock. This hand's great. Although a little slow because I can't play anything until turn 3, but I've got the turn 1 Torch of Existence, I've got Golgari Rot Farm to as well. And I keep drawing lands, this is good. But he gets a pretty good start too. So he's got this Compulsive Research going on. And then he's got 2 Sunscapes and a Muldrifter. So there's not a lot I can do here. Take one Sunscape. He plays another Sunscape and it flashes back his Deep Analysis. And I think, so I'll exile his Sunscape. Beat down. And then he snaps my Faceless Butcher. So at this point, like, his draw is too good, and I just concede. Because there's no way I can grind out this game if I had more time, but with his draw being as good as it is, I need to save time and not try and grind out a match that's very hard for me to win. Or a game that's very hard for me to win. So, game 3. Another very good hand. lead off with Torture Resistance right away. Drawing another Torture Resistance is not good. Very not good. So he prohibits my Lampad, which is kind of annoying. Okay, so here again, you're going to see what happens when I just don't draw any lands. So, turn 4, miss my land drop, which is, it's a thing that happens occasionally. So I'm going to commune, looking for like a land creature, and I end up, milling 3 lands instead. And I took a Lampad instead of a Stinkweed. So now I'm in pretty rough shape because I need land, and Glenn continues to make land drops until he wins the game, basically. I choose not to dredge with Stinkweed. And then draw a land, so I'm pretty glad I didn't dredge. I think from here on out I do dredge, though. Just play out a Lampad because there's no reason not to. And now he's got a familiar. I choose not to dredge for some reason there, which is probably a mistake, hindsight. But now, again, I'm still looking for lands, so I commune, looking for a land creature, a Sakura-Tribe or a Tilling Treefolk or a Krosan Tusker. Don't get them. I do get a horror, I'll take that and cycle the horror. And then I also I keep on not getting lands. So at some point here, I should have been dredging. I'm not sure when exactly I should have been dredging, but I should have been dredging looking for those land creatures, and they just never happened. So finally hit the land creature, but I think he's got prohibits and stuff for that. And then I cycle the horror and I miss the land again. So then he prohibits my Sakura-Tribe. So I spend a lot of time in this game just trying to get land drops that never happen. While he continuously refills his hand with Deep Analysis and Mold Drifters and whatnot. He evokes a Mold Drifter, preordains. I think he basically just keeps on grabbing counterspells whenever he can. And then, so I finally hit my land drop when I'm able to actually play Steve when he's tapped out. So I Faceless Butcher here. I'm trying to just kill his Sunscape instead. So turn 8, I finally hit my 5th land drop. Despite all the digging for land creatures and whatnot. So he flickers some Sea Gates. He just draws a ton of cards. No matter what I do here, he's got the answer for what I'm doing. Luckily, I had another Torture Resistance in my hand, but I milled one, and he just blew up another. So this one has to stick. Turns out it does not. And there's nothing I can do about it because I don't even have Faerie Macabre in my graveyard, even though I've gone through like half my deck. So he blows up my Torture Resistance, and that's basically game right there. I think I stick it out for way longer than I should. But basically just stumbling on lands and not being able to dredge and not dredging when I should have been cost me the game a lot. So I commune and I don't hit my 4th Tortured Existence, which is not surprising. I mean, I don't expect to hit all 4 all the time. Mesmeric Fiend, and he, in response, does the Flicker Mold Drifter, which is, nothing I can do about that. So Fiend, and I get to look at his hand, which basically spells the writing on the wall for me, I think. Right, so he's got those cards. I think I took like a Deep Analysis or something. Maybe I took a prismatic chance. I don't know. Whatever it was, it doesn't matter because he's just got. So he's got a Seagate, a Mold Drifter, another Seagate in hand. He's got a Gut Shot for my future Mesmeric Fiends. So I'm in really impossible shape here. Plays another Seagate, plays another Seagate. Mystic Sanctuary. I think he Mystic Sanctuaries his Nature's Chant back to his top of his library. So that sucks. Treefolk is a pretty good draw, and he doesn't counter it, so I'm now looking to cycle into my last Tortured Existence along with a Mesmeric Fiend into Crypt Rats, and somehow, hopefully, all that goes through. It is absolutely not going to go through that way. That's just what I'm hoping. So Treefolk's going to grab more card draw. Choose to just dump a Chainer's Edict because it doesn't matter anymore. And then he flickers a bunch of things. And then looks like Mystic Sanctuary glitches out again. Anyway. So barring Mystic Sanctuary glitching out. What happens the rest of this game is that I eventually grab a get a Mesmeric Fiend, and then I play it, and he Nature's Chants my Lampad, actually, because it's an enchantment creature, so that I can't respond, so that he can't exile whatever he does with the Mesmeric, whatever I grab with the Mesmeric Fiend permanently. So, I end up grabbing something, doesn't matter, but he gut shots the Mesmeric Fiend, and that's all she wrote, basically. Oh, so I grabbed the... Yeah. But, anyway, just stumbling on lands early there. I mean, I'm not sure that I would have won even if I hadn't stumbled on lands. Because this matchup is, especially with Glenn's deck in particular, he draws just so many cards, right? So Glenn's list in particular is running 3 compulsive research and then also 4 deep analysis. So he is going to outdraw me and outvalue me unless I hit very perfectly very early on and I have no like Tortured Existence disruption. So I'm sorry about Mystic Sanctuary glitching out, but there it is. Hope you enjoyed.